When Stevie Nicol was at Liverpool, he won the treble. Celtic are going for a treble. That would be some achievement, wouldn't it?
It would be an incredible achievement. It's hard enough to do it in 1 year, but to have the opportunity to do it 3 successive years really is incredible. You know, some may say that the opposition might not be the greatest, but at the end of the day, you can only beat what's put in front of you. And to have already won 2 in a row, and to be going for the 3rd, tells you of not only the ability and the quality of the recent Celtic sides in Scotland, but of the professionalism. You know, it would be so easy for a team who, 3 years ago won the league by over 30 points, to think that they can just step on the field and just win games. I think says a lot about their professionalism, but I think it also says a lot about the manager as well, to be able to motivate and keep your players on edge, that they can actually perform every time they step on the field without getting carried away and letting the standards drop.
Would it be more of an achievement this season for Celtic if they did win the treble, considering their manager left them a few months into the season to go down to England, and Neil Lennon, someone who knows the place well, has come back in, and no matter what anybody says, there's upheaval when a manager changes at a football club?
Yeah, I think so. And again, it really goes back to the players, the ability. It's a combination of ability and professionalism and a mental strength. You could say that, you know, in this stretch of 3 years, they've lost influential players as well.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of upheaval both on the field and off the field. I think this year though would be the most satisfying for them, because the first 2, the competition, Celtic were so far ahead of everybody else that we did expect it, and the standards didn't probably quite have to be as high as they normally would. This year, however, the Scottish Premier League's changed a little. It's got a little tighter. You know, you've got your Rangers with Steven Gerrard, you've got Aberdeen, you know, you've got Kilmarnock. Every game now seems to be not a battle, but absolutely no question, a lot tougher than the previous 2. And so the fact that they're now within 90 minutes of doing another treble in a year, which physically and mentally will have been a lot harder than the 2 previous years, again, is a testament to the standards of the players and the professionalism and their mental strength.
When Brendan Rodgers went to Leicester, I wouldn't say many people were surprised that he moved on and went back down to the English Premier League, but a lot of people were surprised at the timing, in that he's won 7 of those potential 9 trophies for this treble if they do it. But in essence, he's given up the final 2. Were you surprised at the timing of when Rodgers left Celtic for Leicester?
I can't say I was, to be honest with you. You know, it's a chance for Brendan Rodgers to get back in the Premier League. You know, people can argue, but some would say that the Premier League is the best and toughest league in the world. So for him to get the opportunity, it might not ever come round again. So I think he probably looked at it from his career point of view. Celtic fans obviously looked at it from Celtic's point of view, and for them, it wasn't a good decision. But it was the best decision for Brendan Rodgers. On the other hand, you got to say that the fact that Neil Lennon was sitting in his house watching the telly, unemployed, was the luckiest thing that could have happened after having lost Brendan. You know, you've got a guy in who knows the club inside out, would know all the players, and would just go in there and keep the place ticking over the way it was when Brendan was there. You're not getting somebody new coming in and try to play a different way and try to change the system and try to change the players. You've got a guy in Lennon who is grateful for the job, more than grateful, and who's just letting it tick over.
So there's a big decision coming up for the Celtic board. If Neil Lennon wins the Scottish Cup final against Hearts, and they're big favourites for it, he'll be the man that clinches the treble. Is that enough for him to get the job on a permanent basis? Can they do better than Neil Lennon?
I think that would depend on the philosophy of the club, to be honest with you. If they want to go in a different direction, play in a different way, then they would have to go somewhere else.
Rafa Benitez has been mentioned. Is that something that might interest him? Would he give up what he has right now, which is going to be Premier League football next season, for a chance to win again, albeit at a lesser level?
I don't really see how Rafa Benitez would be the right choice. Rafa's a guy whose teams play more on the counter. You know, Celtic, for as long as I can remember, have been the team.
They're a front foot team, aren't they?
They're a front foot team, exactly. So I don't think Rafa would be the choice, unless the Celtic board want the team to go in a different direction. I would also say the fact that if they win this treble, and you've had somebody in Lennon coming in halfway through a season and actually steadies the ship and makes it seamless and goes on and wins this treble, I think you'd have to seriously consider keeping him.
The bottom line is, from the Celtic board's perspective, their thoughts aren't a treble every year. Their thoughts are Champions League.
Right.
And doing that. Just finally, Celtic have won a lot of points this year late on, which says a lot about their mentality and never say die spirit. Rangers have lost a lot of points late on, early in the season especially. So the gap is what it is. Do you think it'll be closer next season with Steven Gerrard having had a full season under his belt? And can Rangers stop Celtic from doing 10 in a row?
Yes, I think Rangers will be better because, you know, since Gerrard's gone there, he has taken the ability of the coach, of the playing staff to another level. You know, really, Rangers, when Gerrard went there, nobody expected them to even compete with Celtic. Now they're competing because they've made signings. I expect this summer Rangers to go and make more signings. And of course, the only way Celtic can combat that is to go and do the same themselves. And the fact that Celtic do have the finances over Rangers, I believe, means that they will go out and strengthen, and that will make it twice as hard for Rangers.
Does Celtic get 10 in a row?
I don't think I could bet against that, so I would have to say right now, yes, I think they will.
Pretty honest from a guy that grew up supporting the blue half of the old firm.
I still do.